right, and welcome back to what we have now deemed the Forever Nameless podcast. We have given up on all hopes of trying to name this.
Right.
And by doing that, we came up with a name. So, again, I'm Colt Jester, and alongside me, as always, is...
Broken Thief Sidan. How's it going?
Yeah, so it's been a couple weeks since we last recorded. We kind of did that strategically, non-strategically. We wanted to record about a week ago, but there really wasn't much going on.
Right.
And in that meantime, holy crap, did a lot of news come out. I mean, there is tons and tons to talk about. We're going to try and cram in as much as we can. But before we get to any of that, let's get into talking about what we've been playing. I'm going to let you start.
Are you sure? I mean, you can go first if you want. I think my list is a little longer than yours.
All right, fine. That's fair enough. So I have not really been playing anything except for World of Warcraft. My brother got me back into playing it, and it sucked me back in deep. And,
yeah, no kidding.
But I'm not going to sit there and talk about that. It's a game that's been out for forever. There is an expansion that's going to be coming out later this year. So if, that comes out and I'm still playing, I'll probably end up talking about it then. There's not much to talk about it just because they're kind of in the wrapping stages in between. So on the side note, I do want to shout out a couple things that my wife is cleaning the house today and pulled out a couple things. I just want to do a quick shout out. I'm not playing these. It's just funny to see these. So the first up is, wow, the glare on that is bad. PlayStation Vita case of Borderlands 2. Which is missing the cartridge. I think that's somewhere sitting in my PlayStation TV somewhere.
You still have a PS TV?
Somewhere.
I do. I just came across mine the other day.
It's somewhere either in the closet to my left, or it's in one of the bins out in our storage locker thing.
Yep. Don't have a Vita, but still got a TV.
Yeah. So the other thing I want to shout out is a really old game that if you haven't heard of, I don't blame you, but I loved this game back in the day. This isn't the exact one that I played a lot of, but that's Heroes in Might and Magic.
Okay.
Little strategy game where you build up your forces and you go take on kind of the opposing forces.
Right.
Different
factions,
wizards, barbarians, factions if you want to call it. That you can choose, and they have their own unique things to it. It's fun. I don't think I could load that game on Windows 10. Not to mention it's a disc, and I don't have a disc tray on my computer, so it just is kind of held on for a sentimental value of sorts.
Yeah, I feel like disc trays are just becoming kind of obsolete at this point.
Yeah, I haven't had a disc tray in this computer
on PCs. I mean,
longer. Yeah.
Obviously, you need them on the console, but
well, I mean, Xbox, they came out with their all digital version.
Yeah,
it's not necessarily needed.
Yeah, but
in this day and age, there's certain parts of the world where going all digital is not the ideal way to go. So,
right. Nope. Completely agree.
That's all I got. I really haven't been doing much.
No, I can attest to that. All well. just wow. So wow. So yeah. All right. I guess then I could piggyback on that. Say I've been kind of as well a little bit, along with Colt, touching on WoW here and there. Not as
trying to get you into it.
Yeah, not as heavy as what you guys are doing, but here and there. Also have picked back up on my 14 playing. Still playing that from time to time, trying to stay on top of it and get my ninja back up to in-game content, I guess, as of right now.
Yeah. Is your wife still playing with you?
She hasn't been the last like month or so. When Animal Crossing came out, she kind of migrated to that. So, sure. You know, she spent her time there. She does want to get back into it though, so we're looking to kind of get back on par there.
Okay. Yeah, but, I mean, it's kind of a crazy time with everything going on where, you know, it's hard to, depending on what your job is, make time for video games.
Yeah, well, she's now laid off, so we have all the time in the world. So, yeah, we'll go with that. So, yeah, we hope to get back into it soon, and I can get her back up. She was making good progress there with a summoner, so I'm hoping I can get her back towards the in-game stuff. Cool. Other than that, I have been mainly focused on Final Fantasy VII Remake, which we did roll credits. Colton was there for pretty much that entire ride. As we went through, rolled credits.
It was interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely it's going to be interesting to see how they proceed, I guess.
Right.
I started the hard mode on it. Did you? Yeah, kind of messed around a little bit on chapter 1 with that. Hard mode is definitely intense.
Okay.
You can't use items at all.
Oh, okay.
So like it's a little rough.
So how do you heal?
Spells, benches, like that's it. So yeah, I've also been studying up the community. I'm not gonna go into everybody in the community for the speed running, but they've been routing out the entire game and providing skips and finding all kinds of like fun little glitches and ways to do boss fights. So that game is I'm gonna be hoping to start speedrunning that soon, or at least practicing through the chapters. And then I've been messing around with the original Final Fantasy VII and still, working on my speedrunning there. Usually off camera with that one, just because I tend to soft lock or screw something up and just restart it constantly.
That one night we were messing with it, you did pretty good. So there was a night where I picked up Final Fantasy VII. I started playing it normal, just to play it. And I probably got, a good 35 minutes, maybe an hour ahead of you before
I think you were
playing the remake.
You were like 45 minutes in, and I said that I was going to get off. And then I was like, well, I'll continue through here and give you enough time to get to some point. And then finally, I think it was somewhere around an hour, maybe a little after an hour, when I finally got off the remake.
Yeah. And you did a couple of skips where you got considerably ahead of me with your speed running tactics.
Yeah, in all fairness, man, one skip just jumps like 45 minutes of the game. So right. It's not, right. It puts you ahead. But then I screwed myself by trying to do another skip and soft locking the game. So
yeah, I think you called it out for that. Is there anything else that you've been messing around with?
What else have I been playing? There was one. What was I messing around with? No. It was what I was gonna go back and play, and what I'm looking at trying to, I don't know, potentially I guess stream while I play through it, as I wanted to go back to Odyssey and just start over. Since
Assassin's Creed Odyssey?
Yeah. Because I got through probably half to 3/4 maybe of that game. And then I started playing something else and it kind of fell to the back. And I want to beat it because I thought it was awesome. And with what's coming out, I definitely want to play it again.
Right. So I think it was free. Either that or it was like dirt cheap. Picked up Assassin's Creed Origins on the PC. That was like a month, maybe more ago. Mm-hmm. And I started to kind of play that again. And man, I wish I had the will to want to play that again.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I put 60 hours into that on when I played it on the PlayStation.
Oh, yeah.
I love those games. We'll get more into the butt of that later.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we can touch on that later. That's just one thing I was thinking about there. And then I told you I was thinking about buying another game, but I don't know. As of right now, I'm kind of waiting to see what I'm going to spend my money on. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've been playing for the time being. There's a few games I want to get to that are on my backlog. But it's a matter of finding time, and then I ultimately, and I know I'll just end up reverting to Final Fantasy VII. And
yeah, speaking of backlogs, I really need to go back and finish Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice.
You were so close.
I was. I'm really, really close, and there's more about that or why I want to finish it coming up.
Right. Yeah, no, and off of your recommendation, I ended up picking that game up, and I think I played, a good couple hours of the intro there, and I was like, damn, this is intense. It was awesome. Right. Definitely a game to be played with headphones.
Right.
Yeah.
On that note, let's go ahead. This is going to be a very news-heavy kind of episode because, like we said, there's a lot. We're going to start off with the biggest chunk, and that's also going to end on us leading into talking about some of the other topics.
Yeah.
Microsoft had a conference, and I want to start this off before even bringing up the games. I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
Microsoft posed this whole... There's going to be a lot of gameplay being shown. There's going to be gameplay of Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Right.
And, they got a little bit of controversy that they kind of overpromised. What was your take on
that? That one's hard because they showed... What they ended up showing, a lot of people complained, isn't actually gameplay.
Right.
And it turns into this whole ordeal of, well, they promised us this and that, I mean, it's an Assassin's Creed game. If you look at the other Assassin's Creed games that have come out previously between Origins and Odyssey, you know what the game is going to kind of look like and play like. With a couple of probably improvements, it's going to look a hell of a lot prettier on the new systems. I think it's more or less just like let them kind of run with the trailers they want to show you. And
well, I think the big thing is that because of this is going to be the first Assassin's Creed on the next gen console, people really want to see what those consoles are capable of being able to do.
Yeah, and I get that, but wait for the actual console to be, the date to be announced and somebody to show you them playing it on the I don't know. I understand they were supposed to show gameplay and everything, but to me it's not that big of a deal where they're like, oh, we're going to show you some gameplay, and then they showed some CG stuff that, some cutscenes and shit like that, and it didn't really bother me, I guess, is the way I'm putting it. And the other thing... to kind of tag onto that, and I don't know if you're going to talk about it or not, but the whole announcement of frame rates.
I don't know if I saw that.
They pretty much came out and said that they're hoping, or that Assassin's Creed Valhalla will hit at least 30 FPS on the new Xbox.
At least?
And that's where a lot of people were like, wait, time out.
This is backwards.
Yeah, we're
wrong direction.
We're supposed to be going up. Why are we going down? So it's one of those things where a lot of people, I guess, were freaking out, and it's like, all right, look, let the shit come out, let everything kind of play out, and let's just see where it goes. Let's not jump to too many conclusions yet on how everything plays out, and I mean, maybe it'll hit.
I don't know, man. That makes me a little nervous. But all right, yeah, that's
because they just. One of the things they were saying was like the new Xbox is capable of delivering 120 FPS, right?
Yeah.
And I guess according to this article on GameSpot by Eddie McCooch, Greensburg comment came after a spokesperson for Ubisoft said to Eurogamer Portugal that Assassin's Creed Valhalla will reach at least 30 frames per second on the Xbox Series X.
He's disgusting.
Yeah, he said earlier 60 frames per second will be the standard output on the Xbox Series X, but ultimately developers will choose what's best for their games.
Yeah, and I get that. Like, I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie, right? I really hope it's at least 60, not 30.
It blows my mind that you have these next gen consoles and like Xboxes come out, like, oh, this is going to be the most powerful console, blah, blah, blah. And then, and that's the thing. Assassin's Creed, the reason I even brought this up about the whole, controversy in the first place about the gameplay thing is that Assassin's Creed has kind of been known as one of those games that gets put on the consoles first.
Yeah.
And really kind of tries to show off, from a third-party developer what these consoles can do. And you don't want to come out the gate with 30 frames per second on a new console on a staple game like this.
Exactly. And I was saying wait and see and so on, but I guess the more you really think about it, the more you really want a new console to be pushed.
Right. Well, the thing is, I get it. There's two sides of that because you have, go back and look at PlayStation 4 graphics now and what they look like, and compare them to PlayStation 4 graphics when it first came out.
Right.
It's not the biggest leap, but it's noticeable.
Yeah, there's improvements, and that that comes with engines and everything else being updated and different styles of developing games and so on. But and they were talking. That article goes further into detail about the Xbox utilizing other areas of their strengths to improve loading times, such as the SSD in the system and things like that. But if you have a system capable of 120 frames per second, and your developers are going to choose your frame rates given for their games or whatever, and try to, make the judgment call on what's best, shouldn't you at least push for the 60 frames per second to be your...
Yeah, and I don't know. Maybe this is just... I have so much more to say about this for the sake of the fact that I've made my switch over to PC and things like that, and I've noticed a difference with having the ability to have higher frame rates on games.
Right.
It just feels smoother. But all right, that's
so that's that. As far as the original complaint about not showing gameplay and so on, I don't care about that. I have really no opinion on it. I'll wait to see the actual gameplay when somebody is playing it.
Well, here's the thing. So, from my perspective, when it comes to Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I'm not sold on this game.
Because, I am. 100%.
Right. So, for somebody from my perspective of not really being sold, maybe seeing the gameplay a little earlier could maybe sway that. And, I just, for me, this goes back to PlayStation's Merc Cerny thing that they did, where I believe that was his name. And I apologize if I'm wrong, but he did that entire conference that was supposed to be done at GDC,
right?
And it was a drag, but it was they announced it to the public audience, hey, we are going to talk about the PS5, and it's and then you get there and you watch, and it's all this technical.
But they did come out and say it was going to be a full technical thing.
I know, but they didn't clarify that the best way. Like they could have been like, hey, just so you guys know, this was supposed to be done at GDC. Like anything just extra to kind of like put that notion out there, because my point is that perception and of what you put out there and what you deliver on and how it's seen by the audience means something. And if you don't get the right perception out there and then people go to watch it and it's not what they were, expecting because of what your words were, people are going to get upset.
Well, and
I don't blame them.
So my tag on to that, and this is something that I was going to bring up probably a little later, but it kind of feeds into it now. This was an Xbox showcase showing off Valhalla, and saying that they were going to show gameplay, and there was controversy on what gameplay was and so on. But, I mean, what are your thoughts on potentially that Ubisoft is waiting to show that gameplay for their whole Ubisoft Forward?
And that's fine. Again, though, that wasn't announced at this point.
Right.
They were having their thing. So
but they could have,
goes back.
Here is what you can show at your thing, blah, blah, blah. And then eventually we'll release more.
Right. And again, my qualm is with Microsoft more than anything, because, and they came out, they apologized. They said they kind of overestimated what they could deliver. And, and that's fine. Like, it's kind of water under the bridge at this point, but it just, I wanted to kind of have that open dialogue about what our opinions were on it. Right.
And that's very much what it probably comes down to, is they probably thought they could show more than what they actually could. And now they're left sitting here, which I am very much looking forward to the Ubisoft Forward on July 12th, because there's going to be a lot of shit in that.
Yeah. So, all right, let's break this down really quick, because we might run through a lot of these games, because I don't know too much about any of these games, and I also don't. There's some of these games that I just don't really have much interest in. So, I will say this one looked cool, but I've never played any of them in the series. Yakuza Like a Dragon was announced.
I haven't played them, but I've seen them. I've seen them streamed, and they look like a ton of fun. I've just never gotten into them.
Yeah. I want to say this game Bright Memory Infinite was announced, but I don't remember seeing that, to be honest. Dirt 5 was shown off, and holy crap, that game was freaking gorgeous.
Yeah, very, very pretty racing game.
Yeah. I'm not a Dirt fan, but that game showed off what I think a lot of people were wanting to see from...
the console expectations of what they could actually do.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a really weird trailer for a game called Scorn. It's an Xbox Series X exclusive. Go watch the trailer, and you'll understand why I'm confused.
I haven't seen it, but I will check it out.
It's weird, and it doesn't even show much. It's very confusing about what the game is going to be. Let's see.
Scorn.
So,
SKORN?
No, SCORN.
Oh, okay.
It's weird. There's another game, Corvus, CHORVS. I don't even remember seeing that game, to be honest. Madden 21 was shown off.
Which may unfortunately be the only football we really get to experience.
Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 looked really, really cool.
Now, is this a continuation of the Vampire game that came out? No, I haven't seen this.
So this isn't Vampire. This is Vampire the Masquerade. The original one was it's an older game. I don't remember exactly when, but holy crap, this game actually looks really, really interesting. The trailer, I remember watching it, getting chills watching it. I was very impressed with it. The Medium, I believe, was announced.
Okay.
I don't know much about that one. The game that I don't know if you've seen, but has my most interest in, it's a game by Bandai Namco called Scarlet Nexus.
That sounds vaguely familiar.
It's a very anime-esque type of game. It looks really cool. Again, you haven't seen the trailer? Go check that out. If you're an anime fan and you're a video game fan,
I have seen this.
That game looks, huh?
I have seen this. Yes, this game looks cool as shit.
Right. Second Extinction, Reclaim Earth. Did you see this trailer?
No. I feel like I missed a lot of these.
Oh man, this one looks really cool. It's a first-person shooter, where you're basically you just see them gunning down a bunch of dinosaurs it's almost like dinosaurs have been brought back and they're taking over, and you're basically the mission is to put the dinosaurs into a second extinction. Or
is it that humans are going to go into an extinction if we don't kill off the dinosaurs?
Right. It looks really cool.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a fun kind of game playstyle. Yeah. Almost, what was that one? What the fuck was the old game? It wasn't Turok. Was it Turok? Is that what I'm thinking of? Where you shoot dinosaurs?
That was like N64, yeah.
Yeah, where
they re-released it.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking of then.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they showed off some more from Hellblade 2, Senua's Saga.
Which looks awesome.
Again, this is why I was talking about I need to go back and finish Senua's Sacrifice. This game, knowing what I know about the first one and know what I've played of it, this is the one game that I'm beyond the most excited for that's coming out.
Yeah. I will say, like, what were we watching where they showed the trailer for it? I'm trying to think. Maybe it was the Game Awards. Something like that. They showed a trailer for it, and I, like... So,
that was at the Game Awards, yeah.
Yeah, so just watching that, I was like, holy shit, this looks amazing. Yeah. Like, this is... And the music just gets you, like, completely pumped for it.
Yeah, there's a few other games announced, I believe. I have this list that it's showing like everything that's been announced, so I don't want to talk about everything that's on here because
right. We'll be here for hours.
Yeah, but the other thing was obviously Assassin's Creed Valhalla. But before this happened, they did have their own like announcement video, and I'll get it out here right now. This one doesn't look like my cup of tea. I'm not the biggest Viking person. I played Assassin's Creed Origins because of the Egyptian background. I love the Egyptian background of things. I did not play Odyssey because I knew ships were going to be more of a mainstay, and I hate ship combat in Assassin's Creed, and I know that's, not the popular topic, but knowing that this is Vikings, I can't imagine there not being even more ships.
Oh, there's going to be ships. There's 100% going to be ships.
Well, I mean, I'm saying more ships than Odyssey. So, like, I'm out. Like, ship combat, no thanks. It's not my thing.
See, I didn't mind the ship combat in Odyssey. I enjoyed Odyssey for the simple fact that I like Greek mythology. And I like the whole... stay and set up of that game where you're playing both sides of the war, you're fighting for both factions, you're going through the ship combat. Never really bothered me, but then again, I was also a fan of Black Flag, so like
yeah, I wasn't. And here's the thing, Origins had a little bit of ship combat, and I was like, every time it came up, I was like, it's like, oh man. And don't get me wrong, it was, in my opinion, better than what they did on Black Flag. But just, I don't like it. It's not my thing.
Right.
And that's like Kingdom Hearts 3 had ship combat and the Pirates of the Caribbean thing. Not my thing. I'm glad that was like centered into one world and that wasn't something I had to worry about throughout the entire game. So.
And see, where I like Greek mythology, I fucking love Norse mythology, and I am 100% on board with Vikings and Norse mythology. So this game, just as soon as like I heard that it was going to be something along the lines of Vikings, I was like, ooh, And then I saw the trailer, and I watched it probably like 5 times in a row.
Don't get me wrong. If for the people who are watching, if you've not seen the trailer,
go watch it.
Go watch it. And I
right
now.
Even though
it's not for me, I got chills watching the trailer.
Dude, it
looks like it's gonna
awesome.
be like a really good game. It's just not for me.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Not everybody has to like the same game. That's what's great about our community. Everybody can play something different.
Right.
But
so
yeah, I am 100% on board with this game. I'll be following it. I will say it is not my most anticipated for the remainder of the year, but it is up there within the top 3 to 5.
Right.
So.
All right, so I'm gonna let you take over from here for a little while. What type of news do you have?
Well, let's see. We just finished up with Valhalla. Carrying off of that, I guess, talking about another one of my quite possibly my most anticipated for the remainder of the year, Cyberpunk 2077. And I know you're not. Is that a game you were looking forward to, or not really?
Not really. The thing, okay, CD Projekt Red. I've played a little bit of The Witcher 3.
Shame.
I'm very hit or miss on very old games, and I know I play World of Warcraft, which is an open world thing, but I don't know. It's just. The Steam the cyberpunk aesthetic and things it looks like it's gonna be an awesome game. Don't get me wrong. Again, it doesn't tickle that itch.
So I am 100% into this game. I absolutely love everything I've pretty much touched as far as The Witcher goes. All of the expansions, all the news I keep hearing about Cyberpunk just makes it sound better and better. The planned expansions coming out, the length of the game, all of the in-depth customization, which leads to the bit of news that was released about in-depth customization. The fact that you can customize the genitalia for your fucking character on this game,
which
just,
you know what? It's interesting, but good on me. I mean. I saw it and I was like, "Hey, cool." Not a feature that me personally I needed, but if you want it, cool. Have it.
I think the one of the main things about it, and I could be completely wrong, but they're talking about sexual instances and so on in this game that are going to be present. Which are for some people, not for others, whatever. The romancing lines, the things that come out in games. And I think that's kind of where the whole you're able to customize your junk can pretty much plays into it. So it's more or less just, it's gonna be very interesting to see what people kind of go about, especially in a game like Cyberpunk where it seems like almost every piece of a person's body can be customized and swapped out with machinery and computerized and so on and so forth. So, and they pretty much have already come out and just said it's a mature game if you didn't pick up on that from everything I just got to say. So,
and, like I said, man, it's cool to see the fact that, a video game is willing to even cross that bridge. And, I think this is a game that if you are into the genre, or if you want to play something and you are a type of person that, has always had an issue with trying to create the character that you want, this gives you every varying option that you could ever want.
Yeah. And if The Witcher is any testament to CD Projekt Red's capability of telling a story, this thing should tell a pretty good story as you play through. So, So yeah, that one, I thought that was fun. I thought it was something we should at least touch on.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Touch on.
I caught that.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to save a couple of the bigger ones for towards the end here. I know it's been a few minutes since this actually happened, but what are your thoughts with the whole Last of Us 2 getting delayed and then leaked?
So I don't know. There's not much to this to me. I kind of wish I had more answers than the right answers, not rumors. Like
right.
It's hard to say what you can believe and what you can't.
Right.
I do have a buddy. It's one of our buddies that we do D&D with. He went out and read the entire spoiler of everything that got released, and his reaction surprised me. And he said he hated it. Hated every bit of it.
Really? Like the story itself?
Huh?
Like the story of the game?
Yeah, said he hated it.
Oh. Interesting.
So I haven't read any of it. I'm not going to read any of it.
I'm not.
These are the types of things that like, I'm really good at not being bothered by because of the fact that I'm the type of person that if I want to know something, I will find it. If I don't want to know something, I won't see it.
Right.
I keep my head down and only lift it up when I need to.
Yeah, see, I as soon as I saw that spoilers were out there, I'm like, all right, well, I won't be clicking on anything Last of Us 2 related. Yeah. And that was it. I haven't clicked on anything Last of Us 2 related, and I'm not ruining the game for myself. But I did, they came up with a new story trailer a few days ago, and just kind of diving into the real shittiness of the game, I guess, like the gritty kind of dark avenue that they're going down.
Right.
So they're going to be, I guess it seems like it's going to be a lot of a revenge kind of thing to me, based off of just the trailers that I've watched. Right. So
I'm excited about the game. This is going to be one game that I'd be more than willing and excited about dusting my PlayStation off to play.
Right. It is a game I am looking forward to. Also in my top 5. Right. So looking forward to that coming out.
Right.
I guess with that, like the next couple of stories were the bigger ones. The one being the new Unreal Engine 5 first look that they dropped.
Yeah, and I started to watch this and never got back to it.
It looks pretty.
I did hear that Fortnite the developers of Fortnite are going to migrate the game to Unreal 5 in 2021 for next-gen consoles.
Right. Which only makes sense. If you have a new engine and everything, utilize it.
Right.
Just if you haven't seen anything on it, watch the trailer on it. See what this is capable of doing. There's a whole article that explains shit that I'm not even going to attempt to explain on this podcast, with lumens and the whole nanite setups that they have and so on and so forth. But it's very interesting, and they go into how they can use extreme detail on almost every piece of thing that they develop, and the different lighting effects that they can do with the whole angle of the sun and casting lights from flashlights onto different things and reflections. And it's going to be very interesting seeing these new engines aside from Unreal Engine 5 there that come out and what they're capable of doing with them. It's going to be fun with games coming out.
I'm very interested to see if with Unreal Engine 5, if this might push... You were talking about other developers and other engines and things like this. I wonder if this is going to push EA to maybe fix, abandon, do a new engine to get away from their proprietary engine that they have?
Quite possibly. I feel like...
I mean, cross my fingers, hopefully.
Yeah. I feel like with Unreal coming out with a new one, it's basically going to set that domino effect.
Right.
You know, it's going to be pushing everybody like, oh, shit. Hey, maybe we should...
You know, and the thing is, though, is that, like, all these other companies are at a massive disadvantage because, one, Epic has an endless source of money because of, you know, their Fortnite revenue and things like that. And the fact that they back all these other, you know, games with their engine to begin with. But, you know, they're known for this. Like, they have dedicated teams that have worked on this stuff for years.
Yep.
And, you know, it's a lot of money to invest into, and I don't know, you know, if EA is going to be willing to, you know, push that envelope to try and get it to see what they're going to do to try and fix that, you know?
Right. And I agree. It'll be interesting, I guess, just to see how everything kind of plays out.
Right. What
feeds what gets developed due to it, and who's going to be in bed with who, I guess, is the way I should word that.
Yeah.
But the other bigger piece before I rattle off a bunch of little shit is the Ghost of Tsushima. Tsushima release that they did, and the 18, I think it was 18 minutes of gameplay that they showed, but they focused on quite a bit. I know this isn't a game you're really following.
Yeah, not really. I want to watch this though, because this is a game that, you know, if shown the right thing, may sell me.
Right.
This goes back to the whole Assassin's Creed thing that I was talking about earlier. You know, seeing something like this is something that could potentially sway me into being interested. It
looks, I mean, besides the fact that it looks pretty, we could talk about games are just going that avenue now, but it looks awesome with the fighting styles that they have. I mean, they pretty much are implementing it's samurais. You have your, like, I probably won't remember what they're called, like a samurai fighting style where you're using timing and you're kind of attacking and maybe deflecting and things like that. They even showed capabilities of like cutting arrows out of the air and as they're coming at you if you can time it right, things like that. And then there's a ghost fighting style where it's more of your like, and I almost want to equate it to being like a ninja. Like you're sneaking around, you're doing assassinations, and all of them look cool. Everything I've seen, I mean, you're like spinning people around and shoving a blade through their throat, and it looks awesome. And I'm really I'm excited for it. I want to see more or less on the story. I know I've seen a lot of people kind of compare it to Sekiro, but it's not quite the same style.
Yeah, I wonder what the challenge factor of the game is going to be.
And see, I don't want. And I'm a Souls fan. All right, so let's get that out of the way now. I love all Souls games, but I don't want this to be a Souls related game.
That's where I was coming with that myself, because I'm not a Souls guy, and for this, you know, game to really, you know, be something that I might be interested in, it would have to not deal with Souls, like,
right?
So
right, and I know the difficulty level turns a lot of people off, which is why I kind of hope this game is in its own kind of genre, falling into its own style, and it's not your Sekiro where it's a Souls category essentially.
Right.
But other than that, man, the video I watched of it looks awesome, and I'm pretty excited for it.
All right, I'm gonna have to check it out. Maybe by next time I'll we do something like this, I'll have watched it and I can put my 2 cents into it. Maybe at the beginning of the episode or something like that.
Yeah. After that, I mean, some little things, some things maybe you're excited for, maybe not. The Pokemon Sword and Shield. I know once upon a time you were playing that on the Switch.
Yeah, I put a lot of hours into that.
Yeah, I'd say. The expansion, or the first expansion is coming out.
I'm interested. I don't know about, I didn't want to spend more money on this game.
Right.
To me, Pokemon has always been a game that you buy it once and then you wait until the next one comes out and you buy that one. And so to see Nintendo getting into this and with Pokemon as a title to have DLC, it's kind of all right. Here we go. Let's do it. I guess. And we'll see. I kind of want to. I don't know.
See, and I'm in the island of I want to play the DLC, but I don't until I see information on it.
Right. So I watched all the stuff leading up to it when they announced it and everything like that. It looks cool, but again, Pokemon to me has always been. I don't play Pokemon more for the most part than playing the storyline, beating it, and then being done with it.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and that's pretty much where I'm at. I want to play it, but I'm I have to see some cool shit.
Right. To
really sell me on buying it.
Right.
One game I think you are interested in, and I don't really have any news on it. I just, other than to say, I really want to go back and play the first 2 just so I can get ready for it, is Baldur's Gate 3.
Yes. So, I thought you were going somewhere else with that. I'm excited about Baldur's Gate 3. I've never played the Baldur's Gate, but again, same guys who did Divinity, so
yep.
I'm in.
It's a D&D style game, so
yeah, and we play D&D on the weekdays. So
yep. Which way did you think I was going with that?
Tony Hawk Pro Skater remaster.
I was gonna let you handle that. If you I was gonna let you talk about that one.
So, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 got announced to be remastered. I played the crap out of these games growing up. My middle brother was a skater, so we had everyone every time, and I played right alongside with him. And man, I've seen the screenshots comparing the old game to the new game. I'm so excited for this. I really am.
Did you see the part where you can play old skaters?
Yeah.
They're aged. That's awesome. I think it's fucking amazing that you could play your favorite old time skaters that are now aged to be appropriate for the time.
Yeah, I like it too. And then they were also showing off the soundtrack list.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the thing that I loved about Tony Hawk.
Dude, Tony Hawk always had the best soundtracks.
There's some artists that I listen to still to this day, got in and listened to a lot of their music.
Yeah. Because
of the fact that I heard them on Tony Hawk first.
Right. Which makes sense.
So, yeah, no, I'm very excited about that.
I'm also in the realm of I'm fucking weird, and I listen to the Final Fantasy VII OST in my truck as I drive to work. So
hey, nothing wrong with that. Now that our D&D podcast is over.
Yeah, I know. So sad. Speaking of Final Fantasy and all of that fun stuff, for any Xbox players, whether it's Xbox or PC, if you have the Game Pass for the consoles there, Final Fantasy IX is now available to be downloaded and played. So if anybody has not ever tried out Final Fantasy IX, I highly recommend giving it a shot.
I second that recommendation. Best Final Fantasy ever.
We didn't have to go there. Why did you have to take it there? See? So, I was being completely courteous in all of that, and then you pull out some stupid shit. So,
on that note, do you got anything else?
Final Fantasy VII is the best. No, I think that pretty much covers all the news I came across. I can't think of anything else. I know.
I'm sure there's some stuff we missed.
Oh yeah,
but that's the big chunk of it. That's the biggest of the big that we've come across. So thanks for joining us again. As always, we appreciate your time. And
absolutely.
You guys have a beautiful day.
Yeah. Until next time.
Peace.
Later.